Put your hands together for Shannon Fiedler!
Well, guys, I just turned 30 a year and a half ago. No, I'm firmly in my 30s. I'm basically 32. And all that means is I had no idea what to wear tonight. Or ever. How do you get dressed to be a woman in your 30s? Because I feel like my options, I either look like I'm pledging a sorority or dropping my twins at soccer practice. I do not know what phase of life I'm supposed to be in. You know? Because like I have just as many friends that have babies as I do that have drug dealers. And actually, many of them are the same friend. It's all over the map. Like, I have some conversations about newborns and some conversations about new Hinge dates. And sometimes, I can't tell which is which. Because I'll get a text message and it's like, oh my God, Shannon, I was up all night. Jonathan is in this new phase where he's just putting everything in his mouth. It's like, that could go either way. Your 30s are like if 4 p.m. was an age. Right? It's like too late for lunch, too early for dinner. So you just lie on the couch alone and eat cheese. And it's great. But the truth is, I don't know. I don't know if I should be settling down or if I should still be like turning up, you know? Because honestly, I just want to be horizontal. I know I'm starting to get a little old because my cousin, she's Gen Z. She's in high school. And I know that I'm starting to get old because I genuinely do not understand anything she says to me. I am telling you, she calls me the other day. Tell me if you understand this. She calls me the other day. She goes, okay, Shannon, here is the tea. He is like so snatched and I totally stan him. He's got a couple weird flexes, which are like a little sus, but whatever. I am full send on him, no cap, Bible. That is not a sentence. That's a game of Mad Libs, okay? And it's confusing because, okay, what Gen Z is doing is they are taking words that already have definitions, you know, like cap or slay. And they are taking those words and they are repurposing them to mean what they want them to mean. And do you know what that is? That is colloquial appropriation. I don't stand for that. No, because it's confusing. Like, okay, for example, let's say she wants to say someone is attractive. She'll be like, yeah, that girl is snatched. You tell me someone is snatched, I am on the phone with Liam Neeson. Or like, okay, this one's new. Let's say she wants to say someone has good style. Maybe not you. Let's say she wants to say someone has good style. She'll be like, yeah, they have drip. That sounds disgusting. It's like human leakage. I hear drip, I'm thinking postnasal. I don't know. Okay, then there's this one. Okay. If she wants to say that she thinks something is the truth, like the absolute truth, she just goes, yeah, Bible. Does anyone else feel like we're regressing? Like, at the very least, she could say evolution, right? He is so hot. Darwinism. Sometimes mid-conversation, she'll just be like, yeet, or like, shush. I'm like, that's a sound effect. I told her, I was like, talking to you feels like having a conversation with a fax machine. And she was like, Shannon, what's a fax machine? And I felt geriatric. I mean, look, guys, to write this joke, to be able to tell you what those words mean, I literally had to Google what is current slang, which is not only mortifying, But now every ad I get served is for Life Alert or butterscotch candies. 32 is not a cool age. And do you know how I know that's true? You know how I know that's true? Because no one has ever once written a pop song about being 32, okay? Taylor Swift does not sing, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling my mortality. Although, guys, I did have like a fun young person thing happen to me the other day. Yeah, guys, last week, I got a hickey. From my gua sha. Do we know what a gua sha is? Okay, if you don't, prepare to be incredibly embarrassed for me. Because a gua sha is a skincare device, okay? It's a jade stone, which just means it's an overpriced, overhyped rock that women in their 30s rub across their faces because theoretically it's supposed to make us look younger. Yeah, and clearly it's working, because with the hickey, I looked about 17. Although, guys, let's be honest. I mean, my skincare routine, now that I'm in my 30s, takes so long that by the time I actually go to bed at night, my husband is already asleep. So, honestly, gua sha was kind of my only shot at getting any action anyway. I do have a husband. That's exciting. It's very grown up. Yeah, we got married this year. Yeah. No, you can keep clapping. I deserve this. Because I worked my ass off for this thing. Literally and figuratively. I did. I went on a lot of dates in my 20s, and I hated it. Because it's just like, it's not fun, you know? Like one time a guy used the pickup line on me. He just comes up to me and goes, you know, if your job doesn't work out for you, you could be a stripper. I know. Can you believe that worked? I went on a lot of dates. I went on a lot of first dates. And first dates are so boring because when you go on a first date, you just sit down and learn biographical facts about someone. Like afterwards, I would have no clue if I liked the guy, could confidently write his obituary. I mean, how many times can you muster up enthusiasm to be like, yeah, so, do you have any siblings? And even care what that answer is. Especially when, let's be honest, you already know the answer, right? Because prior to the date, you have spent hours on his Instagram, his TikTok, his LinkedIn, his ex's Instagram, his Strava account, his Goodreads profile, his Spotify page, and the 2011 lacrosse team roster from his high school when he was captain and had a Zac Efron haircut. We're all in this together. I mean, sometimes I wonder how much of my brain, my memory, is just facts about dudes I got one drink with. It's just that in the Nationwide jingle. Those are my intrusive thoughts. I'm trying to fall asleep at night. My brain's just like, hey, Shan, Christian works in healthcare sales. I had a very particular type when I was dating. Actually, my whole life. My whole life. Even my first crush. My first crush was Aladdin, the cartoon character, yeah. He's hot. But I do think it, really impacted me because I spent all of my 20s dating guys just like Aladdin. Overconfident, compulsive liars who wear vests. You might know them as bankers. Yeah, I am telling you, if you gave Prince Ali a JP Morgan gym bag, they would be indistinguishable. And if you don't know what the JP Morgan gym bag looks like, congratulations, you have made good life choices. You guys know. And you have one. I did. I dated a lot of guys who worked in finance. And they would always say it like that, you know? They'd be like, yeah, I work in finance. Like it's a different country. Like, I'm a comedian. I'm not going around being like, yeah, I work in laughs. No, I say I'm a comedian. Although, honestly, most of the time I just keep it simple. I say, I'm a writer. Here's the thing. If you tell a banker you're a writer, he will immediately tell you every book he's ever read. It's like dating a bibliography, okay? And they would get so excited. They'd be like, oh my God, we have so much in common. Here are all these books that I've read. And I wanted to be like, guys, that's not the same thing. Being like, oh my God, you're a writer. I've read a book. Like, that would be like if I was like, oh my God, you're an astronaut? That is so crazy. We have so much in common because you're an astronaut and I've seen the moon. And just like you, an astronaut, I've been high before. You're like, what do you do?
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher? I went to school. So we're soulmates. So I would go on these dates, and I'd say I'm a writer, and then these dudes would give me their literary litany, and I never understood why they were doing it. I was like, why are you reading me a syllabus? And then one day, it dawned on me, and I was like, oh, they think I'm gonna be impressed that they are 28 and literate. No, I genuinely think these guys thought that I might go home and be like, talking to my friends and be like, yeah, I don't know. He wasn't really cute, and honestly, he's kind of boring. But he read The Catcher in the Rye. Always The Catcher in the Rye. I know you guys are probably like, Shannon, if you hated dating bankers so much, why did you keep doing it? And I just want to be very clear, it's not my fault. I didn't have a choice in the matter. I had to do it because I am from Connecticut. Yeah, it's state law. No, when you live in Connecticut, you are required to end up with a guy who has 3 pairs of boat shoes and a coke problem. No, I don't have trust issues. I do have trust fund issues, though. No, listen, I think I don't want to give you guys the wrong impression of me. Like, I know people think Connecticut, they think, like, rich, elitist, and, like, that, like I went to public school. Once to take the SAT. I am Connecticut to my core, okay? Like, if you cut me open, my blood would be Nantucket red. And it affects how you think about everything when you grow up in Connecticut. Like, a couple weekends ago, my friends invited me to go out with them on Saturday night. You know, the ones that, like, have drug dealers still. They're fun. And they were like, Shannon, do you want to come out with us tonight? We're going to the club. And I was like, yeah. Are we playing golf or tennis? Because they teach you to do things a specific way in Connecticut, you know? So from a very young age, I learned date by numbers, which is why I went out with Wesley Grayson III, Richard Adams IV, John von Muffington V. I went out with so many guys with Roman numerals in their name. It was like I just had Super Bowls. Never got the ring, though. Until I met my husband, and and I'm very happy to say he is nothing like those Connecticut banker jerks. He's actually much worse. He runs marathons. It's disgusting. He's like, we should run a race together. Okay. First of all, I get tired driving 26 miles. More importantly, do I seem like the kind of girl who could be alone with her thoughts for 5 hours? Absolutely not. I would have a full-on mental breakdown, okay? Like, I can't even go on a jog, okay? If I am running, I'm not exercising, I am being chased by my own demons. Like, anybody here go for runs for fun? Just yell it out. Yeah? Okay, what do you guys think about when you run? Anything? What'd you say? The next step? Okay, this is what it's like to be mentally stable. Must be nice. Because let me take you through my train of thought, okay? So I'm out on my jog, and I'm like, wow, it's such a beautiful day. I wonder if all my friends hate me. everyone I love is gonna die someday. And you know what else? William was from Arkansas. I don't run. I don't. But I do try to work out, you know? Especially now that I'm in my 30s, I want to stay limber, you know? So I have been waking up early every morning and exercising my right to stay in bed. Because, like, here's the thing. I've never been in a cult. I have taken a soul cycle class. Kind of the same thing. I don't know, do any of you guys take group fitness classes? Yeah, okay, bad news. The instructor, gaslighting you. They lie to you the whole time. The minute you walk in the door, they lie. You walk in, they're like, hey, you did the hardest part just by showing up. Okay, pretty sure 30 burpees is a little harder than calling an Uber. And then, I don't know, you're like in your squats, you know, and you're like struggling, and they're like, come on, stick with it. It's all mental. And you're like, dude, this is literally physical. Then, I don't know, you get to the end of class, right? You're tired, you don't want to be there, you're like jumping jacks or whatever. And you're exhausted, and they're like, come on, stick with it. It's just 1 minute. You can do anything for 1 minute. It's like, I can't speak Portuguese for even 5 seconds. And the minute you give them any sass, you know, you're like, I'm done. I don't want to be, whatever. The minute you give it back to them, they're like, come on, you got to leave it all out here. I want you to leave here with no regrets. It's like, I regret coming here. These fitness instructors say the most ridiculous stuff. And it's not just in class. It's not. Like, I was on the SoulCycle website, and all their teachers have bios, right? And this one woman, she wrote this. Her about me was, interests include fresh air, good food, the water. Girl, those are basic human needs. I am sorry, but you cannot take surviving and parlay that into a personality, okay? Oh, you like food? You like water? You like breathing? That's not an interest, that's a biological necessity. Oh, you don't believe me? Let me introduce you to my friend Maslow. He's got a pyramid I can point you to. This is a very niche joke. Okay, back to my husband. Besides the marathons, he is a good dude. He's from the Midwest. Yeah. So, like, he's nice to me. Bizarre. So he grew up in Missouri. He grew up in Minnesota. He grew up in Missouri. Whatever, same thing, right? Guys, I'm kidding. I know where my husband's from, I think. But it did take me a while to learn it, you know? Like, the whole first year we were dating, I would tell my friends, I'd be like, well, yeah, growing up in Milwaukee and being from Michigan. My friends were like, is he in witness protection? No, he's just from the middle. And I am from the coast. And it's great, you know? Because I feel like everywhere we go, I get to show him this whole new world, you know? Because, like, I used to date Aladdin, now I am Aladdin. Everywhere we go, I'm always, like, so excited, you know? I'm like, Pat, oh my God, Pat, look. God, do people in the middle of the country where you're from, do people, like, do you guys know what that is? And he's like, Shannon, that's a Chick-fil-A. We got married this year, like I said, and it was amazing. I loved our wedding. But I will say, when you get married in your 30s, you start to realize how bizarre some of the wedding traditions are, you know? Because, like, one of the first things you do when you start planning a wedding is you pick your bridal party, right? Pick your bridesmaids. It's fucking weird. You are just publicly ranking your friends. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna invite all of my friends to my wedding, but these are my favorite friends. Yeah, and because you're my favorite, you're gonna pay an extra $900 to celebrate with me. That That's so weird. It's so high school. Like, do you know what picking your bridesmaids is? It's the 30-year-old equivalent of picking your MySpace top 8. Except you don't have to include Tom. And if you don't remember who Tom from MySpace is, you're too young to need a gua sha. Another weird tradition in your 30s is the registry. Because like in your 20s, you need that stuff. But in your 30s, you're just like, hey, buy me this. You know? But I also have to say, I just don't feel like the gifts match the occasion, you know? Like we would get a gift and the card would be like, Shannon and Pat, congratulations on finding your soulmate and committing to a lifetime of love and loyalty and starting a family. Here's a Roomba. But the one tradition that you just cannot do if you get married in your 30s, you just can't, is the bouquet toss, right? Because like in your 20s, it's fun. In your 30s, it's mean. Let me paint a picture for you, right? So like it's the middle of the wedding, okay? And the bride, who is royalty, right? She's like the empress of the day. She gathers all of the lowly single women into the center of the room. And then, for the entertainment of the masses, she makes them duel one another for a prize. That's a gladiator ring. Except instead of togas, they're in taffeta. I mean, can't you guys see it now? Like one girl, she has had enough, okay? She has been a bridesmaid too many times, and she comes out of that bouquet scuffle. She's got like a false eyelash stuck to her cheekbone. Somebody else's stiletto is in her bra. She's got that bouquet, and she holds it, and she looks around, and she throws it at the bride, and she's like, "Are you not entertained?" And the DJ's like, "We are entertained. Keep it going for Melissa." All the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies. So that was our wedding, and now we're married. And I like being married. I do, because I love my husband or whatever. I'm kidding. I like being married for the health insurance. I like being married, I do. Being married is great because when you live with your partner, you realize that you can share all of these really personal things that you never thought you could share with someone else. Like the same bottle of nasal spray. You think that's gross, you haven't been sick. It's been good. It hasn't all been easy. And I can talk about this now because I've worked through it, but basically I found out that my husband had been sleeping with somebody else 3 years before he met me. No, I wish that was a joke and not just a toxic personality trait of mine. I know, I'm jealous, and I thought I would grow out of it, but I didn't. So I'm a jealous person, but I think everybody is jealous, and I'm just brave enough to admit it, okay? Like, are you two together? Okay, how long have you guys been together? 12 years. Married for how long? 5. Married for 5. Sir, do you love her? Absolutely. Sir, in your whole life, have you ever been with another woman? Yes. See, don't we all kind of hate him now? Just me? I know it's bad, I know, but look, I'm jealous, but I think I have good reason to be, okay? Because my husband has this coworker, and I cannot fucking stand this bitch. Her name is Kelsey. That's a hot girl name. Like, to be clear, I've never seen this woman, but I know she's hot phonetically speaking. Like, have you ever met an unattractive Kelsey? No, you haven't. Even Kelsey Grammer, hot. Like, is anybody here tonight named Kelsey? Good, fuck Kelsey. I'm like this close to being jealous of our Alexa. He talks to her all day, and her job is literally to turn things on. So, also, I have a bone to pick, because you know what else Alexa has? A hot girl name. Alexa? Like, come on, Bezos, you couldn't have named her Bertha? The other day, my husband got a text message, and I read it over his shoulder, obviously. And the message said, it was like, hey, where have you been? It's been a while. Miss you. And I was like, who the fuck is this from? And he was like, it's from Duolingo. Because he hadn't been practicing his Spanish. I know. So then obviously I had to call their customer service and say, don't ever contact my husband again, por favor. So if you can't tell, I'm an only child. I know. And look, I was spoiled. I was an only child. Of course I was spoiled. However, I genuinely do not think I was spoiled rotten, you know? Like if I was milk in the fridge, I would be past the expiration date, but you'd like take a whiff of me and be like, worth the risk. I am worth the risk. It's true. I really don't think I was spoiled rotten because my parents, they were always honest with me. They never coddled me. I mean, even last week, I called my mom and I said, Ma, what do you think of this new joke I wrote? And she goes, oh, it's good. It's just not funny. You know, my first job out of college, I worked for Bustle. I was a writer there, and I don't know if you guys know it, but it's an online publication. And one day, completely out of the blue, unprovoked, my mom just goes, you know, I don't really trust the internet now that I know people like you write for it. I trust her, though. I do. She's also a writer. Yeah, my mom writes children's books. Yeah, it's very sweet. She's amazing. It's really cool. However, it did mean that growing up, I was often taught things through children's book-like metaphors. So when I was in high school, my mom sits me down and she goes, okay, Shannon, your virginity is like a pack of gum. If you take a pack of gum out in class and you offer someone a piece, everybody else is gonna want a piece too. Yeah, and then if a boy you really like asks you for a piece of gum, you're not gonna have any left, and you'll be sad. Okay. There are like a million things that are problematic with that metaphor, like running out of gum. But I didn't know that. I was in high school, so I'm just trying to make sense of it. I'm like, okay, I got a pack of gum. That's like 12 pieces before I have to find the right guy. You know, depending on how many I chew myself. And what kind of gum am I into, you know? Because you got a lot of gum out there, like Bazooka. Bazooka comes with a comic, which is fun. But any gum that is trying that hard to prove it's funny is overcompensating for something. Then for a while, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should chew extra. Because right on the packaging, it says extra, long lasting. Yeah, that's what they all say. I can chew all night. Then your friends tell you the only thing that matters is size, right? So you're like, big league chew? I don't know. But I mean, hubba bubba, hurts your jaw. Yeah, and on top of all of this, in every other conversation I ever had with my mother, she was always like, Shannon, don't swallow your gum. And that just made things even more confusing. I love my mom, but that metaphor is trash. So when I have a daughter someday, I'm not gonna tell her it's anything like sharing gum, but I am gonna tell her it's a lot like when the popular boy asks to copy your science notes. Because, like, you're gonna do all the work. You're gonna learn all the anatomy. You're gonna give him everything he needs. And then he's gonna be the one who finishes first in the class. It's a good lesson. Parenting sounds hard. I don't have kids yet, But I know that when we do have kids, I know for a fact that my husband is gonna be such an incredible dad. And that's because he has a lot of practice parenting. Because living with me is basically like having a toddler. I'm just this short person in constant need of his attention, and I cost him so much more money than he thought I would. He never knows why I'm crying. Although if he feeds me, I do tend to stop. Although if it's really bad, he does have to give me a bottle of wine. Oh, and you know how kids are like always asking questions that like there's no answer to, like that you can't answer? They're like, Daddy, why is the sky blue? Or, Daddy, why do cats meow? Yeah, I'm always like, Pat, if we got divorced, which of my friends would you date first? And there's no right answer to that. I'm like a 30-year-old toddler, guys. I don't know. I thought by the time I was in my 30s, I really thought I would have more of my shit together, you know? Like I thought I'd have a house. I thought I'd have a collection of Prada. I don't even have my own cell phone plan. Thanks, Dad. No, the only thing I have to prove that I'm in my 30s is a paper bag full of other paper bags and very strong opinions about what's the best grocery store. It's Trader Joe's, obviously, yeah. And you know what? I love grocery shopping. I do. Because when you are an adult, you can buy as many packs of gum as you want. Bible. I really did think I would be like a little more cultured though in my 30s. You know, I thought I'd like frequent the opera and understand wine. I don't know what anyone is talking about when they talk about wine. What the fuck is a tannin? Because that sounds like something some Brooklyn hipsters name their kid. Can't you hear it? They're like, tannin, if you don't finish your vegetables, we are not going to have a play date with Bordeaux. I went out to dinner last night and I made the mistake of being the one to order the bottle of wine. And I say mistake because when you order the bottle of wine, then the sommelier comes out and now you two have to participate in a mating ritual. The entire experience was more formal than my proposal. So he comes out, you know, and he's like presenting me the wine like it's an Academy Award, you know? And he's like, this is a 2008 vintage. And I was like, does it wear Juicy Couture? He did not find that funny. And so I was like, yeah, sure, you may pour the wine. So he pours me what can only be described as a backspit's worth of wine into my glass. And I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. So I just start doing things I've seen rich people do. You know, I'm like, pick it up and I'm like twirling it. Like I'm doing Pilates exercises. Sniff it. Like a dog. Like, could you imagine if we did this with other food? Could you imagine you go to a restaurant, you're like, I'll have the soup. And they bring it out and you're like, 1 moment, please. They would ask you to leave, okay? But it's expected with wine, so I go through the whole rigmarole, and I'm like, yeah, it's good. And then everyone else at the table is like, but what are the tasting notes? And as previously stated, I don't fucking know how to talk about wine. So I just start making shit up. I'm like, yes, you know, this wine, it's very floral forward, paisley backward. You're right, it's incredibly full-bodied, you know, at least a double D. Great legs, better arms. Although, you know, I'm getting hints of leather and Sour Patch Kids. Although, you know, it's a touch dry, though. Do you have anything wetter? Not that I would ever send wine back. Are you kidding me? That is a level of confidence and wealth I do not possess. They could literally bring me a bottle of cat urine and I would be like, it's perfect. Great, tannins. Another thing I've been focusing a lot on now that I'm in my 30s is I really have been trying to take better care of my health, you know? Trying to eat better, eating whole foods, Always eat my whole burger. But I'm very concerned about getting sick. And it might be because I have hypochondria. Well, I'm afraid I might have it. Is anyone else here a hypochondriac? Yeah? Okay. So you know what it's like to have gout, diverticulitis, COVID, pink eye, and a UTI today. I hate it. I hate it. So I hate whenever anybody tells me they have any kind of sickness, because I know by that weekend, I too will have that sickness. I could literally be talking to someone and he could confide in me. You know, he could be like, you know, Shan, I'm going through a bit of a rough time. You know, I'm dealing with some erectile dysfunction. And I would get home and be like, me too. My hypochondria is so good, guys, that I have had sicknesses that don't even exist, okay? Like one time my mouth was like kind of dry. And so naturally, I took this to mean that my tongue was growing too big for my own mouth. And that if I were to fall asleep, I would choke on my own tongue and die, okay? And I told all my friends this because I was like, guys, I'm really worried. And they were like, Shannon, that's not how mouths work. And I was like, no, you guys, if I fall asleep, I'm going to choke on my own tongue and die. And I believed this so fully that I set an alarm for every 15 minutes to wake me up and make sure that that didn't happen. You guys, that is crazy behavior. You could choke on your own tongue in way less than 15 minutes. My hypochondria affects everything. Everything. Like if my period is so much as 1 day late, convinced I'm pregnant. And also my period, it's always late. And I'm always stressed. Like, why can't it just be punctual? It's a fucking punctuation mark. Period. But it's always late and I'm always worried. And like, you guys, one time, true story, my period was late. I had been abstinent for like 6 months. I took a pregnancy test. That is how good my hypochondria is, okay? It has me thinking I could be the next immaculate conception. Because obviously when God picks the mother of his next child, he's gonna be like, let's go with the stand-up comedian. All my friends know I have hypochondria. So when COVID hit in 2020 and the whole world had hypochondria, they were really concerned about how it was affecting me. So I was getting all these calls. You know, people were like, Shannon, how are you doing? How are you hanging in there? Are you all right? And I was like, guys, look. For you, this is a once-in-a-lifetime, never been seen before, unprecedented global pandemic. For me, it's Tuesday. Like, I'm not like trying to like brag or anything, but like I liked Purell before it was cool. I don't like to touch public surfaces. I don't. Like you should see me in a public restroom, okay? Because I get in and out of there, I don't touch a thing. I am like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. But there's an art form to it, you know? Because you walk in, there's a lot of stuff to touch. So you're gonna walk in, you're gonna find your stall, you're gonna kick that stall door open, you're gonna come in, you're gonna lock it with your elbow, and then you're gonna get into a squat. Because you're not sitting down, you're not touching anything. So you're gonna get into a squat, and then you're gonna do this little like oblique workout, you know, make sure everything's all right, but it's a woman's restroom, so there's no toilet paper. So now you gotta find another stall. So you're gonna unlock it again with the elbow, and then you're gonna knock it with your shoulder to get out. Then you're gonna find the next one, you're gonna kick that door open, you're gonna lock it with the elbow, get into the squat, do your obliques. God forbid you're wearing a jumpsuit. Then you have to do this whole little like limbo action. You're gonna do your business, go to the bathroom, now it's time to flush. Are you using your hands? Absolutely not. We're not touching anything. So you are going to do the high kicks. So you're gonna do the high kicks, and then you're gonna come out of it with the elbow and the shoulder, and then you're gonna come out. Now, luckily, there is a lot of hands-free technology already for washing your hands, so you're just gonna do a little hand jive, you know? Come over here, get the soap, get the water, do your Jedi mind tricks. You know, these are not the paper towels you were looking for. Get your paper towel, get your paper towel. Now, you could use that paper towel as a barrier between your hand and the doorknob to get out, but that is for amateurs, and I am not an amateur, I am a pro. So I, once again, do the high kicks, but this time, you gotta do the high kicks with a twist, you know, because you gotta get under the doorknob and you gotta turn the doorknob. You're gonna come in, then you're gonna kick the door open, you're gonna slide through before it hits you, and not only have you gone to the bathroom, you've gotten in your full cardio workout for the day. Could you imagine how much more energy I'd have if I was a man? Walk outside. Done. No, I love being a woman. No applause. Okay. I do. I love being a girl. I think it's the best. But I do think it's hard, you know? Because, like, as women, I feel like we have to be a lot of contradictory things at the same time, you know? Like, I'm very feminine, but I'm also feminist. Or, like, I want a family, but I want a career. So it's like, lean in. Whoa, too much cleavage. Like, as women, I feel like we have to be oxymorons. Men, you're just morons. Because, like, look, I believe I can do any task a man can do. I also believe I should never carry my own suitcase. And then what about all the shit that women can do that men can't do, you know? Like the obvious one, having a conscience. So, you know, there is a very real part of me that wants to be like, yeah, you know what? Burn the bras. But this cost me $75. And it's pink. And I love things that are pink, but I worry if I have too many pink things, no one's gonna take me seriously, and then maybe I'm not gonna get the jobs that I want. Guys, it is so complex to be this basic. Oxymorons. Obviously, girls, we also are constantly dealing with like so many stereotypes, you know? Like we've all heard, you know, women can't do math. Okay, I'm sorry. Have you ever asked a girl what day she's gonna wash her hair? Because that is calculus. Or as I like to call it, galgebra. I'm telling you, you ask me, hey, when are you gonna wash your hair? I will answer with an SAT word problem. I'm like, on average, Shannon washes her hair every 3 days. No more than 24 hours before a big event, but no less than 48 hours after working out. If Shannon takes a soul cycle class on Wednesday and has a wedding to attend on Saturday, how many viable hours does Shannon have to wash her hair? If you can figure it out, please tell me. Galgebra is amazing. It's the best. It helps us figure out so many things. It's how we know when to shave our legs. It's how we know when to text back our crush. It is, however, faulty in one area. And there is one place where something goes wrong with our galgorithm. And that is when you are going on vacation and it's time to pack your underwear. I don't know what happens in the galgorithm. I don't, because you're standing there, you're like, okay, I'm gonna be away for 5 days, 4 nights. Let's carry the one. I'm gonna need like 37 pairs of underwear. And then you catch yourself, right? You're like, no, that is insane. That can't be right. Okay, let me try this. 40, multiply by 3. I'm gonna need all of them. Every pair I own. And that is women in STEM. You know, there's another stereotype that I feel like we're always dealing with, and this one drives me crazy. And that is, I think guys think that when we get together as a group of girls, we kind of just like sit around and talk shit about everybody that we hate. That's not true. That's not true. We talk shit about our friends. Do you want to know the answer to the age-old question, why do women go to the bathroom together? Do you want to know? Because if you don't go with the rest of the group, they're gonna shit on you. They're gonna shit on you in the bathroom because girls love theme parties. Because of that, we go everywhere together because if you don't go, you're gonna get talked about. And so because of that, we are pack animals. And you know what? Nothing nice travels in a pack, okay? It's a pack of wolves. It's a pack of hyenas. It's not a pack of bunnies. Do you know what a group of bunnies is called? It's called a fluffle. A group of girls is called a backstabbing. It's usually harmless, it is. And the thing is, you can't get that mad about it because we've all done it, right? We've all done it. The thing is, I do think that we kind of do it differently, and how you do it depends on where you're from. Because like Manhattan women, Connecticut girls, Chicago girls, They're all gonna do it a little differently. So I don't know if you guys know, but I like to do this thing where I imagine how girls from different parts of the country would do certain things. You familiar? Do you guys want to see how they talk shit about their friends? All right. We're gonna take a trip, okay? We're gonna go down south. Because in the South, you can't just say something mean. There's Southern hospitality. So like a Dallas girl, she is a master of the backhanded compliment, okay? Dallas girl's like, y'all, stop saying that about Tammy. Because I don't care what everybody else thinks about her. I'm praying for her. Bless her heart. Which is kind of similar to Connecticut. Because in Connecticut, you also can't say something outwardly mean. Like, everybody has manners, you know? Like, we all went to finishing school. So a Connecticut girl still wants to say the mean thing. But she's going to do it like it's coming from a place of concern. Connecticut girl's like, did you notice that Charlotte was wearing Hermes from last season? Well, now I only bring it up because I'm worried about her. I mean, what if she and William are having financial issues? Which is very different than Manhattan, right? We don't have time for that shit. No. Manhattan woman does not beat around the bush, okay? Manhattan woman gets there, she gets directly to the point. Manhattan woman sits down, she goes, Rachel's being such a bitch. Okay, she's mad I didn't go to her birthday party. I had to work, okay? Also, she had her birthday party at Tao. It is 2024. If you want me to come to your birthday party, pick a cooler bar. But like, an LA girl? No, an LA girl could never be that blunt. Are you kidding? Like, if an LA girl wants to say something mean about her friend, she's gonna have to, like, blame it on astrology. I just feel like Mariah's energy is off. Yeah. I don't know if her Mercury is in photosynthesis, but like her aura is bitch adjacent. Then you go to like Chicago, right? And everyone in Chicago, they want you to think they're nice. So they're gonna act like they don't wanna say anything bad. And then they are gonna love every minute of it, okay? Chicago girl's like, oh, no. No, I don't wanna say anything. No, it's too bad. Okay, fine. If I had to, I guess I'd say Kelly is honestly the worst person, and I cannot stand her. Like, honestly, everything she does drives me crazy, and whenever we go to the lake, I want to just, like, claw her eyes out. But I was also thinking about taking her out of the group chat, but I don't want to be mean. Then you go to, like, Colorado, and you would think they'd be too high to have time for this. But they do. And in Colorado, they don't just talk shit, they judge, right? Colorado girl's like, yeah, I invited Molly to, like, go hiking, and she only wanted to do 5 miles, which, like, at that point, why even hike? And she brought a plastic water bottle. I was appalled. You know, when I first started dating Pat and spending time in Minnesota, I was like, you know what? Maybe they actually don't do it here. You know? Like, we've all heard Minnesota nice, right? Yeah, it's a fucking lie, okay? They should call it Minnesota passive aggressive. Because a Minnesota girl will literally be like, oh yeah, you know, Kirsty's new boyfriend, he is so interesting. Oh yeah, for sure, you know, so good of her to not go for someone based on looks. Minnesota. You expect that from, like, New Jersey. Yeah, but you know what? Jersey is actually kind of a funny one. It is, because sometimes in Jersey, they actually are saying something nice about you. You just can't tell because everybody's always screaming. They're like, just see Gina? Just see Gina at the mall yesterday? Yeah, she looked gorgeous. You know, another weird one is DC. Because in DC, they are so competitive, they just use talking shit about their friends as an opportunity to talk about themselves. DC girls like, Melissa's stressed at work. Why would Melissa be, does Melissa know what my job is? Because my job is way harder than Melissa's. Also, like, I went to Georgetown. It's ranked number 22 in the country. You can look it up. It's a much better school than Melissa's. And while you're looking it up, you should just go to my LinkedIn because it's very impressive. And I don't understand how Melissa could be stressed at work when I am literally saving the world. You know, in all my travels around this country, I have only found one place where women don't talk shit behind their friends' back. It's gonna surprise you. The only place where women do not talk shit behind their friends' backs is Boston. Because they say it to your face. Yeah. Boston girl comes right up to you and she's like, hey, Maureen, stop being such a fucking bitch, all right? Because I'm trying to watch the Sox game, and if you don't get me another Sam Adams, I'm gonna punch you in the fucking face. And those are the girls. Thank you. God, guys, my early 30s, it's a weird time. It really, like, I feel like so much is changing. But there is one thing that I hope just never changes, that I never grow out of, and I hope that no matter how old I get, I always make time to go out with my girlfriends, even if they're gonna talk shit about me. No, I do. It's the best. Like, is anybody here tonight with a group of girls? Feminism's hanging on by a thread. No, I love going out with a group of girls. It's the best because when you go out with a group of girlfriends, you just know, no matter what, at the end of the night, one of you is gonna cry. Yeah. That's a good night. You're like sitting around the table, somebody starts to tear up, you're like, yes. I did think I would grow out of this. I thought this was like a 20-something-year-old thing. No. I am 30, flirty, and crying. I love it. It's the best because you sit down with your friends, you have a bottle of wine, it's gonna happen, you know? Because, like, there are a million things that could make a drunk girl cry, like standing up. And some are heartfelt, and some are emotional, and most of them are ridiculous. And I do have a favorite. I do. I have an absolute favorite drunk girl cry, and that is the I can't find my Uber cry. You've all witnessed it. It's usually very late at night, and this drunk girl, she's like all flailing limbs, you know, like she's in a woman's restroom. And she's on the sidewalk, and she's clutching her phone, and she's looking around, eyes wandering, she's totally lost, and she's crying, and she's like, I don't even know what a Nissan Altima looks like. No, you guys. Like, you literally, like, you don't get it. Like, I am never gonna get home. Guys, don't worry. Eventually, I made it home.